A week or so ago, we talked about Highguard. The game was the final big announcement at the Game Awards. It was hyped up as this big, huge thing, and then when it ended up being just another kind of generic looking live service multiplayer hero shooter, everyone was pretty disappointed. A whole lot of hate was aimed at the game, and since then, everyone associated with the game has been completely dead silent. They have not said anything about it. They've not made any announcements, despite the fact that the game was releasing very, very soon. Clearly, this is a very big, very expensive project, a whole lot of money behind it, as with all of these live service games. It's a really big gamble. They usually put a whole lot of eggs in that basket, and yet practically the entire internet immediately rallied against it. Just like it was the bad guy, like, flavor of the week, the thing for everyone to hate, the next pile of slop to ridicule. And I myself, I've tried to be fair about it. I don't know enough about the people making the game. I do think that it is silly to keep making games like this, but I also, like, I don't know, I don't want to just make a habit of being super happy about all of these failures and all of the people who have put their lives into these failures. It's kind of sad, it's kind of depressing, but I also recognize it's a big symptom of a much bigger problem, yada yada. Point is, it was really, really weird that this game was launching very soon, and they just hadn't said anything. So there was this idea, like, okay, like, is it canceled? Like, are they just, they looked at Concord, and now they're looking at the response to the game. People have already written it off. Are they like, this just isn't even worth launching anymore? We really didn't know. It was weirder and weirder the closer we got to launch without them saying anything. Today, they finally broke their silence. They finally did. They posted to Twitter, and they said, tune in on Monday, January 26th at 10 a.m. Pacific for the Highguard launch showcase. Here we'll share an in-depth look at Highguard direct from the studio, featuring a full gameplay deep dive, year one plans, and much more. And they put a link to the YouTube premiere. So yeah, they've come at us with an announcement. They're going to do a big showcase for the game on launch, and this post here, it sort of speaks of confidence. They're doing a big showcase. They've not forgotten the game. They've not abandoned it. They're not just running away. They're gonna show it off, and they're even mentioning year one plans. Okay, confidence. Sure, they've got at least a plan for a year of this game, and they are moving forward with launching it and giving us their plans, their grand aspirations. So that is a good thing, but for them, but there are still so many red flags. So many. This like happy smiling post is just like, you can barely see their smile because they're just buried in the red flags. One, the game, like January 26th, that's launch day. That's launch day. And at the time of this recording, it is the 23rd. So the game launches in 3 days. They did not say anything about the game. I was reading the Kotaku article, points out how the last thing that they posted was like a response to somebody just being like, we can't wait to show you more. And that was like the last thing that they have said about the game. In all this time, there's been nothing. So they only pipe up 3 days before the game launches. So yeah, a little bit weird. And it is cool that they're going to do a big showcase, and maybe they've got really, maybe it is going to be a big thing. They're really going to try here. But it is just still weird that this is a live service game and they're announcing a showcase for it. I mean, I guess if it's a free-to-play game, then all they have to do is launch it, and then people will start playing it. I feel like with this kind of thing, you generally have like a series of like betas and network tests, and I'm not like, I don't play a lot of multiplayer games. Even like with like announcements like this, it's always like the beta goes live on this day, and there's usually like multiple rounds of that. You're trying to get people to get a taste for the game, because that's the problem with the game, is like everyone has already written it off, but no one's even played it. No one even knows. It could be a great game. It really could be the next big live service multiplayer game, but they've not done anything to actually get it in front of people. And even here, they're highlighting this showcase. Maybe they don't need to do more. Maybe I'm looking too deep into this. I don't know. I kind of thought there'd be some kind of like incentive for playing early, even if it's like fake stuff, like, oh, you'll get bonus items for logging in on launch day. There's going to be like a big launch thing. I don't know. Maybe they'll go over that in the showcase. It's funny to see them finally speaking and finally mentioning something. There is going to be something that happens on launch, but so soon before launch, and we really don't even know beyond that. And I mean, to be fair, they really may just be kind of testing the waters. They may be like, all right, you know what? If anything is going to save the game, it's going to be people playing it on launch day and liking it and talking about it. That's it. You know, we're talking about how weird it is that they haven't done or said anything, but maybe that's not weird at all, because they're like, what are we going to do? Spend a bunch of marketing money on this thing that might already be dead? They should correctly recognize that it may already be dead. We don't know if it is. It's gonna come down to, is it fun? Is it fun enough? That's the thing, too. It can't just be fun. It can't just be a competent game. It's got to stand out in some way. And despite my own reservations, my own part that I've been playing in this whole thing where we all just kind of like stand around and like laugh at the game and we're all just curious to see if it's gonna die or what, I am still open to the idea of it being a fine game. I think I was disappointed by the reveal. In a lot of ways, it does look very generic. It's definitely not a game I would touch with a 10-foot pole, not even one time out of curiosity. It's just not even my thing. And yet, like, there's some elements in there. There are some visual and creative elements that I think are okay. You know, I've seen worse. I've seen more generic. I think the characters are probably a big problem, and that's not the kind of thing that can just be, like, fixed. I think generally if you look at a character and they don't look appealing in any way, then, like, that's kind of that. And that was a big problem with Concord. It just had these really unlikable characters just from the get-go. So I don't know if that's the kind of thing that could kill this. But yeah, I don't know. Gameplay-wise, concept-wise, I'm open to the idea that it's good. So maybe it is wisdom for them to just be like, all right, we're gonna do just like some basic stuff. You know, we're gonna do a video, outline our plans. Whether or not those plans to come to fruition, we don't know yet. But at the very least, we'll lay it all out and let people play. See what happens. Maybe no one will play it because everyone's already written it off. Maybe there's just no hope whatsoever. Or maybe we've got something and they'll play it. And that's the thing. Like, this whole industry, it runs off sensationalism. That's the juice that drives the whole entire thing, the whole video game discussion. It's sensationalism. People want this game to fail. They want this game to be a big, stupid, juicy failure because that's the tasty news. That's the thing that's fun in this big, scary world. We all feel very scared and very helpless and like we have no power, and laughing at these big failures is one of the ways that we try to like hold on to some semblance of something like power and authority. Is we can't wait for this thing to fail. So that's a story. And that's a story that may have already been written. That may already be etched in stone. But at the same time, if this game's got anything going for it, it's that the story of Highguard is good, actually. That's a heck of a story, too. Often these stories, they work in binary, in opposite extremes. People want a thing like this to be a horrible, stupid failure. But there's also that part of them that wants a horrible, stupid failure to somehow magically, miraculously turn around. Now it's the redemption arc. That's just as sensational. I don't know if there's room for a middle ground. Maybe there is. Maybe, maybe some people will play the game and it will be something of a success and it won't, set the world on fire, but like it'll be fine. It'll make like some money. Maybe it'll at least like make back its budget and pay the devs and hang on for like a couple of years before. I don't know. You don't usually get those kinds of like middle ground. Usually it's pretty one or the other. It's not really worth spending the money to support a game unless it's really working out. Of course, there are exceptions. There's plenty of games that have struggled, and then like over the years they've been supported and turned into something Is that on the table for Highguard? I really have no idea. But I am rambling now. Point is, I don't know if I see a middle ground for this game. I don't know if that's possible. Maybe it is. So I think they've just got to hope for that other story, for that, like, oh, good, actually, big surprise. That's, you know, it's not something you can count on. It's not something you can expect, but it is technically a possibility. I think we will know soon. I think we will probably know pretty soon if this game is going to be a dismal failure. We will see those numbers, and we will see those articles, and we will see all of the laughing, the lolling people saying, I told you so, greedy companies, and I'll probably make a video on it too. And life will go on, but yeah, I don't know. We may see in as soon as a couple of days. Maybe not. Maybe it'll take a while for the picture to become clear, but we very well may just see in 3 days.